At first light, the African savanna appears calm. Golden grass sways gently under a pale sky, and the horizon stretches endlessly in every direction. To an untrained eye, it looks peaceful, almost untouched. But beneath that stillness, survival has already begun. Every morning on this land starts with a silent calculation. Who will eat today? Who will fail? And who will not live to see the sun set again? The savanna does not reward strength alone. It does not favor speed size or ferocity by default. What it demands is balance between endurance and timing, between cooperation and patience. Here, every step, every sound, and every moment of hesitation carries consequences. Predators do not rule this world by chance. They survive because their bodies, their instincts, and their strategies have been shaped by thousands of generations of relentless pressure. Every hunt is a test. Every encounter is a lesson written into muscle and memory. In this environment, nothing moves without purpose. A shadow lingering too long in the grass can signal danger. A sudden silence among grazing animals can mean death is close. Even the wind carrying scent across the plains can determine whether a hunt succeeds or collapses before it begins. The savanna is not a battlefield of constant chaos. It is a system governed by rules unspoken, but absolute. Energy must be conserved. Risks must be measured. Mistakes are not forgiven. Some hunters rely on overwhelming force. Others depend on numbers, endurance, or precision. Some strike in seconds, while others pursue their targets over kilometers, slowly draining strength until escape is no longer possible. Each strategy exists for a reason. Each one has limits, and survival here is never guaranteed. A powerful predator may dominate one moment only to lose everything the next. A successful hunt does not ensure safety, and victory often attracts rivals waiting for weakness. On the savanna, dominance is temporary. Balance is constant. Life and death do not stand apart in this world, they move together. A fallen animal feeds many. A failed hunt reshapes the decisions of an entire group. Nothing is wasted, nothing is random. This land remembers every struggle. As the sun rises higher, the savanna begins to reveal its true nature. It is not simply a place where animals live. It is a living system constantly adjusting, constantly correcting itself. Every predator, every scavenger, every grazer plays a role in maintaining that fragile equilibrium. In the hours ahead, we will witness some of the most formidable hunters on Earth, creatures forged by pressures, shaped by conflict, and perfected by survival. Not as villains or heroes, but as participants in an ancient process that has no mercy and no exceptions. Because on the African savanna, survival is not about who is strongest. It is about who understands the rules and who can live by them. Lions' power, pride, and territory. The hunt does not always begin with a roar. On the open plains, a group of lionesses moves quietly through tall grass. Their bodies low, their movements measured. Every step is deliberate. Ahead of them, a herd grazes, unaware that it is already being assessed not as a whole, but as individuals. The weak, the distracted, the one that lags just enough behind. For lions' power is not wasted, it is calculated. The African lion has long been regarded as the symbol of dominance on the savanna. Its size, its presence, and its unmistakable roar have shaped human imagination for centuries. But beneath that image lies a predator far more complex than brute strength alone suggests. Unlike most big cats, lions do not hunt alone. They are the only truly social felines, organized into family units known as prides. This social structure is not accidental. It is a response to the demands of hunting large prey in an environment where energy must be used wisely and competition is relentless. A typical pride consists of several adult females, their cubs, and one or two dominant males. The lionesses form the core of the group. They are the primary hunters, responsible for securing most of the food that sustains the pride. Their cooperation allows them to target prey far larger than what a solitary hunter could manage. But cooperation does not guarantee success. Despite their size and coordination, lions succeed in only a fraction of their hunts. Large prey animals are alert fast and capable of defending themselves. A single well-timed kick or horn strike can injure or kill a lion. Each hunt carries risk, and failure is common. This is why lions rely on patience as much as power. They wait. They observe. They approach from multiple angles, using the terrain to their advantage. Tall grass becomes cover. Shadows become concealment. The final charge is explosive, but brief, a burst of speed designed to close the distance before the prey can react. If the attack fails, the cost is immediate. Energy is lost, time is wasted, and hunger remains. Male lions, often perceived as the dominant force within the pride, play a different but equally critical role. Their primary responsibility is not hunting, but defense. A dominant male controls access to territory, and territory determines survival. A pride's territory is more than land. It is access to prey water and safety for cubs. Losing it can mean starvation or death. To protect this space, male lions use intimidation as a weapon. Their roar, capable of traveling several kilometers across the savannah, serves as a warning to rivals. It announces strength, presence, and readiness to fight. But roars are not always enough. When rival males challenge control, conflicts become violent. These confrontations are among the most dangerous moments in a lion's life. Injuries are common. Defeat often leads to exile, and for cubs, the consequences can be fatal. New dominant males will kill offspring that are not their own, forcing the females back into breeding and ensuring their genetic lineage continues. This brutal reality is not driven by cruelty. It is driven by biology. For the pride, stability depends on strength. Weak leadership invites constant challenges. Strong leadership secures territory and reduces conflict. In this system, dominance is not permanent. It must be continuously defended. Within the pride hierarchy governs every interaction. After a successful hunt, feeding order reflects this structure. Dominant males eat first, followed by other adult males, then lionesses, and finally the cubs. This sequence is not arbitrary. It reinforces authority and minimizes internal conflict during moments of vulnerability. A large kill can sustain a pride for days. During this time, lions rest, conserving energy. Unlike predators that must hunt frequently, lions depend on infrequent but substantial meals. This strategy allows them to endure periods of scarcity, but it also makes them vulnerable to competitors. Other predators watch closely. Hyenas, leopards, and scavengers are drawn to the aftermath of a hunt. A pride must remain alert even while feeding. A moment of weakness can result in a stolen meal or a dangerous confrontation. For lions, strength attracts attention, and attention brings risk. Cubs are born into this environment with no margin for error. Their early months are defined by vulnerability. They rely entirely on the protection of the pride. Even within safety, survival is not guaranteed. Disease, starvation, and rival males pose constant threats. Those that survive learn quickly. Play becomes training. Stalking, chasing, and mock fighting prepare them for the realities ahead. Every movement is practice. Every interaction reinforces social bonds and hierarchy. Yet despite their power and organization, lions are not invincible. They are less efficient hunters than many of their competitors. Their size limits endurance. Prolonged chases are costly. In open terrain, faster predators often outperform them. This is the paradox of lion dominance, overwhelming power, paired with notable limitations. And it is precisely these limitations that shape the balance of the savannah. Lions do not dominate because they win every encounter. They dominate because their presence reshapes the behavior of others. Prey alter migration patterns. Rival predators adjust strategies. Even scavengers time their movements around the lion's activity. Dominance here is influence, not control. As the sun lowers and the heat begins to fade, the savannah shifts once again. Lions rise from rest, their silhouettes cutting across the landscape. Night brings opportunity and danger. The cycle continues. On this land, power is never absolute. It is borrowed, defended, and always temporary. And in the shadow of the lion's rule, other forces are waiting. Organized, relentless, and often underestimated. Spotted hyenas order, endurance, and strategy. They are often heard before they are seen. A sharp echoing call cuts through the fading light, a sound many mistake for laughter. To human ears, it seems chaotic, almost mocking. On the savannah, it is anything but. For spotted hyenas, sound is information. It signals location, intent, hierarchy, and readiness. Few animals have been as misunderstood as the spotted hyena. Long portrayed as scavengers living off the remains of others, hyenas carry a reputation shaped more by myth than by reality. In truth, they are among the most capable and strategically advanced predators on the African plains. What sets hyenas apart is not speed or size, it is organization. Unlike solitary hunters, spotted hyenas live in large, complex social groups known as clans. These clans can number dozens of individuals, sometimes more than 80, all bound by a rigid hierarchy that governs access to food, mating rights, and protection. At the top of this hierarchy stands the matriarch. Female hyenas dominate males, a rare structure among mammals. Rank is inherited, not earned, through strength alone. Cubs born to high-ranking females receive immediate advantages, better access to food, stronger protection, and higher chances of survival. From the moment they open their eyes, social position begins to shape their fate. Survival starts early, and it starts fiercely. Within the den, competition among siblings is intense. Food is limited, and dominance must be established quickly. These early struggles are not acts of cruelty, but biological necessity. Only those capable of asserting themselves gain consistent access to nourishment. This internal pressure for strength mirrors the external world hyenas are preparing to face. Physically, the spotted hyena is built for endurance. Its front legs are longer than its hind legs, creating a sloped posture that appears awkward, but serves a crucial function. This structure allows for efficient long-distance travel and sustained pursuit across uneven terrain. Where many predators rely on short bursts of speed, hyenas rely on persistence. They do not rush. They wear their prey down. A chase led by hyenas can stretch across kilometers. The target may escape the initial approach, but the pursuit continues. Step by step, exhaustion replaces speed. Panic replaces coordination. Eventually, the prey slows, and the clan closes in. This strategy requires discipline. Hyenas do not act as individuals during a hunt. Each member plays a role. Some pressure from behind, others flank. A few move ahead to cut off escape routes. Communication is constant, subtle, and precise. A glance, a shift in posture, a change in pace. The hunt becomes a coordinated operation. Once contact is made, efficiency takes over. Hyenas do not rely on a killing bite to the throat. Instead, they attack vulnerable areas, targeting muscles and tendons. The goal is not elegance, it is certainty. Their jaws reflect this approach. Spotted hyenas possess one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom. Their jaws generate immense pressure, capable of crushing bone with ease. This ability allows them to consume almost every part of a carcass, flesh, marrow, hooves, and all. Nothing is wasted. This efficiency gives hyenas a critical advantage in an environment where food availability is unpredictable. A kill does not need to be fresh. Their digestive systems are highly acidic, neutralizing bacteria that would sicken or kill other predators. Carrying advanced decay, even bones become viable sources of nutrition. In this way, hyenas serve a function far beyond hunting. By removing remains that would otherwise rot on the savannah, they limit the spread of disease and recycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. Their presence reduces the risk of epidemics among herbivores and other carnivores alike. Yet despite these contributions, conflict is inevitable. Hyenas frequently clash with lions over territory and food. These encounters are not random. They are calculated. A lone hyena will retreat without hesitation. A coordinated clan, however, may challenge even a group of lions, especially if numbers favor them. Courage in this context is not recklessness, it is mathematics. When hyenas advance, they do so with precision. They probe. They test reactions. They wait for weakness. A distracted lion. An injured individual. A moment when dominance slips. When the balance shifts, they act. These confrontations reveal a fundamental truth of the savannah. Raw strength does not always decide outcomes. Organization, communication, and persistence often matter more. Hyenas understand this. Their social bonds are reinforced through constant interaction. Vocalizations carry identity. Each individual's call is unique, allowing clan members to recognize one another over great distances. Researchers can identify individual hyenas solely by their vocal patterns, a testament to the complexity of their communication system. That infamous laugh is not laughter at all. It is an expression of stress, excitement, or submission. It signals rank and emotional state. To the clan, it is a language as rich and informative as any visual cue. Despite their efficiency, hyenas face limitations. They are not fast enough to outrun the swiftest prey. They are not powerful enough to overpower every opponent directly. Their success depends on coordination and timing. When these elements fail, the hunt collapses. But when they align, the outcome is almost inevitable. In many regions of the savannah, studies show that hyenas obtain the majority of their food through active hunting rather than scavenging. In terms of success rate, they rival and often surpass larger predators. Their reputation lags behind their reality. Hyenas are not thieves lurking on the margins. They are architects of pressure. They shape movement patterns, influence population dynamics, and force other predators to adapt. They do not dominate through spectacle. They dominate through systems. As darkness spreads across the plains, the savannah fills with sound. Calls overlap. Signals travel through the night. Somewhere in the distance, a clan regroups, preparing for another test. In this world, survival does not belong to the strongest alone. It belongs to those who can endure together. And while lions command attention by presence, hyenas command outcomes by design. Speed versus stamina. Cheetah and African wild dogs. On the savannah, not every hunter relies on strength or intimidation. Some survive by mastering a single advantage and pushing it to its absolute limit. Speed, endurance. These two forces shape some of the most specialized predators on Earth. The cheetah, a weapon built for seconds. The cheetah does not wait for nightfall. It hunts under the open sun, where visibility is high and escape routes are limited. On the flat plains, camouflage is less important than acceleration, and no land animal accelerates like a cheetah. Its body is engineered for one purpose: speed. Long legs generate explosive force. A flexible spine stretches and contracts like a spring, extending stride length far beyond that of other predators. Semi-retractable claws grip the ground like spikes, while a long tail acts as a stabilizer, allowing sharp turns at extreme velocity. From a standstill to highway speed in seconds, the cheetah becomes a blur of motion. But this power comes at a cost. A cheetah's hunt is short, rarely longer than 20 to 30 seconds. Beyond that, body temperature rises dangerously, muscles flood with lactic acid, and collapse becomes inevitable. There is no margin for error. One misstep, one unexpected turn, and the hunt is over. This is why cheetahs hunt with precision rather than persistence. They stalk carefully, often approaching within 50 meters before launching an attack. Their targets are usually smaller antelope animals, fast enough to be challenging, but not strong enough to fight back effectively. The goal is not confrontation, but imbalance. A clipped leg, a stumble, a sudden loss of rhythm. Once the prey falls, the cheetah must act quickly. Recovery time is critical. Panting, heavily vulnerable to overheating, the cheetah faces an immediate threat, not from the prey, but from other predators. Lions and hyenas watch closely. A cheetah lacks the size and strength to defend its kill. Many successful hunts end in loss as larger competitors arrive to claim the reward. This constant pressure forces cheetahs to balance speed with caution, choosing moments when rivals are distant or distracted. Efficiency, not dominance, defines their survival. African wild dogs. The power of persistence. Where the cheetah excels in seconds, African wild dogs dominate in minutes, sometimes kilometers. Unlike most predators, wild dogs hunt almost exclusively during daylight. Their strategy depends on visibility, coordination, and relentless pursuit. Speed matters, but stamina matters more. Their bodies reflect this philosophy. Lean, lightweight frames reduce energy cost. Large lungs and hearts support sustained activity. Long legs allow them to maintain a steady pace for extended distances. They are not the fastest sprinters, but they are among the most persistent runners on the savannah. A wild dog hunt begins with communication. High-pitched chirps and body movements synchronize the pack before the chase begins. Once a target is selected, the pack spreads out, maintaining formation as the pursuit unfolds. Individuals rotate positions, allowing tired members to fall back while others take the lead. The prey runs, the dogs follow, again and again. There is no single dramatic strike. Instead, exhaustion becomes the weapon. Over time, breathing falters, muscles weaken, coordination breaks down. When the prey slows, the pack closes in. The kill is swift, but not theatrical. Wild dogs do not overpower through sheer force. They rely on numbers, timing, and efficiency. This method produces one of the highest hunting success rates among large predators, often exceeding 70%. But their success is fragile. Wild dogs face intense pressure from larger carnivores. Lions and hyenas frequently kill them not for food, but to eliminate competition. As a result, wild dog populations remain low and unstable despite their efficiency. Their survival depends on cooperation, not just during the hunt, but afterward. Food sharing is strict and inclusive. Injured or elderly members eat alongside the strongest hunters. Pups are fed first. This social structure ensures that the pack remains functional even when individuals are weakened. It is a system built on collective survival. 2 strategies, 1 reality. Cheetahs and wild dogs represent opposite solutions to the same problem. One relies on explosive perfection, the other on sustained pressure. Both strategies succeed, and both fail for different reasons. The cheetah's specialization leaves it vulnerable once the chase ends. The wild dog's cooperationness makes it a target for dominant predators. Neither approach is superior in every context. Each is shaped by the same environment, responding to the same constraints in radically different ways. On the savannah, adaptation is not about finding the best strategy. It is about finding one that works often enough. As the sun moves across the sky, these hunters disappear into the grass, their paths crossing invisibly, with those of lions, hyenas, and scavengers waiting for opportunity. Speed fades, endurance continues, and somewhere ahead, the landscape shifts again toward the rivers, where patience replaces pursuit and time itself becomes the deadliest weapon. Rivers of death, the Nile crocodile. The savannah does not end at the water's edge. It changes form. Rivers cut through the plains like silent borders, narrow, deceptive, and unforgiving. To migrating herds, they are obstacles to be crossed. To predators below the surface, they are hunting grounds where time, not speed, decides survival. Beneath the calm water, something waits. The Nile crocodile is not a hunter of pursuit. It does not chase corner or exhaust its prey. It hunts by absence, by remaining unseen, unheard, and ignored until escape is no longer possible. Forged over millions of years, this reptile is one of the most ancient predators still alive today. Its design has changed little because it is not needed to. Every feature serves a singular purpose to ambush with devastating finality. A crocodile's body is a contradiction of stillness and violence. Its armored skin absorbs impact. Its muscular tail stores explosive power. Its eyes and nostrils sit high on the skull, allowing it to breathe and observe, while remaining almost entirely submerged. From the surface, it appears as little more than a log drifting in the current. That illusion is intentional. During the Great Migrations, rivers become choke points. Thousands of animals gather at the banks, hesitating. They sense danger, but thirst and instinct push them forward. The longer they wait, the more pressure builds from behind. Eventually, one steps into the water. This is the moment the crocodile is prepared for. There is no warning, no charge, no pursuit. The attack unfolds in less than a second. Jaws close with crushing force, locking around a leg or muzzle. Once seized, escape becomes nearly impossible. The power of a Nile crocodile's bite ranks among the strongest ever measured in the animal kingdom. But it is not the bite alone that kills. It is what follows. With a violent twist known as the death roll, the crocodile spins its body, tearing flesh and disorienting its victim. Bones fracture, tendons snap, water fills the lungs. The struggle ends quickly, even for large animals. Strength means nothing once balance is lost. Unlike land predators, crocodiles do not need to kill immediately. They can hold prey underwater until exhaustion and suffocation do the work. Their ability to remain submerged for extended periods gives them absolute control over the encounter. This efficiency allows crocodiles to target animals far larger than themselves. Each year, thousands of migrating herbivores fall victim at river crossings. Yet most make it across. The river does not exist to kill them all, only enough to maintain balance. This selective pressure shapes behavior across the ecosystem. Herds learn, crossing points shift, timing changes. Individuals hesitate longer, scan more carefully, and choose routes based on subtle cues. The presence of crocodiles alters movement patterns far beyond the water itself. Crocodiles, however, are not invincible. Young individuals face threats from birds, mammals, and even other crocodiles. Survival to adulthood requires patience, concealment, and resilience. Those that succeed can live for decades, enduring long periods without food. A Nile crocodile can survive months on stored energy alone. This ability allows it to wait indefinitely, conserving strength until conditions favor an attack. Hunger does not force action. Opportunity does. And when prey is scarce, crocodiles adapt. They scavenge. They consume carrion left behind by other predators. Their digestive systems are capable of handling decaying flesh and bacteria that would be lethal to many animals. In doing so, they prevent disease from spreading along riverbanks. In this role, they serve not only as killers, but as regulators. Despite their fearsome reputation, crocodiles rarely waste energy on unnecessary conflict. Territorial disputes occur, but most are resolved through displays rather than violence. True battles are costly, even for armored bodies. The river demands restraint. As apex predators, crocodiles influence populations of large herbivores, ensuring that no single species overwhelms the environment. Their presence maintains open channels, nutrient flow, and balance between land and water ecosystems. Where crocodiles disappear, rivers change. Vegetation shifts, disease spreads, the system weakens. Yet to those standing at the river's edge, none of this matters. All that exists is the crossing. Muscles tense. Hooves step forward. Water rises around trembling legs. Every sense sharpens. Every movement becomes a gamble. Above the surface, life presses on. Below it, ancient instincts remain unchanged. The river does not chase. It waits. And waiting on the savannah is often the deadliest strategy of all. Hippos, giants of territory and chaos. Not every danger on the savannah hunts for food. Some defend space. Along the rivers that cut through the plains, massive shapes rise slowly from the water as the heat of the day begins to fade. Their movements appear sluggish, almost indifferent. But this calm is deceptive. Few animals on Earth command their territory with more absolute force than the hippopotamus. Hippos are not predators in the traditional sense. They do not stalk. They do not chase prey. Yet they are responsible for more fatal encounters with other large animals and humans than almost any carnivore in Africa. The reason is territory. A fully grown hippopotamus is a biological contradiction. Despite its enormous weight, often exceeding 3,000 kilograms, it can move with surprising speed both in water and on land. Its short legs are supported by dense bone structure and powerful muscles, allowing sudden bursts of movement when provoked. And provocation on a crowded river is common. Hippos depend on water to regulate their body temperature and protect their sensitive skin from the sun. During daylight hours, they gather in deep pools and slow-moving sections of rivers packed tightly together. These spaces are limited, and competition for them is intense. Dominant males control access. They establish ownership not through constant violence, but through presence and threat. A wide-open mouth displaying massive tusk-like canines serves as a warning. Vocalizations carry across the water, signaling boundaries to rivals. Most challenges end there, but when boundaries are crossed, the response is immediate and overwhelming. A charging hippopotamus is not a bluff. It is a direct attempt to remove a threat by force. Their jaws can open nearly 180 degrees, delivering crushing bites capable of shattering bone. Even crocodiles, heavily armored and well-adapted to river combat, avoid direct conflict with adult hippos. These encounters reveal the hippo's true role. It is not a hunter, it is a gatekeeper. By controlling access to water, hippos influence the movement patterns of countless species. Grazers must approach carefully. Predators time their crossings to avoid confrontation. Even crocodiles adjust their positioning based on hippo presence. At night, the dynamic shifts. Hippos leave the safety of the river and move on to land to feed. Traveling along established paths, they consume large quantities of grass, often covering several kilometers before returning to water before sunrise. These nightly migrations carve corridors through vegetation. Other animals follow these paths, not by choice, but by necessity. Predators use them as access routes. Smaller mammals use them as passageways. Over time, the hippo reshapes the landscape simply by moving through it. Their influence extends below the surface as well. Hippo waste deposited directly into rivers introduces large amounts of organic material into aquatic systems. This nutrient input fuels microorganisms, supporting fish and invertebrates. In balanced conditions, this process sustains river ecosystems. But balance is fragile. When hippo populations concentrate too heavily in one area, oxygen levels in the water can drop, triggering fish die-offs and altering water quality. In this way, hippos act as both stabilizers and disruptors, capable of supporting life or overwhelming it. Their relationship with other species is defined by tension rather than cooperation. Hippos do not hunt crocodiles, but they will attack them if they perceive a threat. Crocodiles, in turn, prey on vulnerable hippo calves when opportunities arise. These interactions are brief, violent, and highly situational. There is no hierarchy between them, only negotiation through force. Social structure among hippos reflects this constant pressure. Groups typically consist of a dominant male, several females, and their young. Subordinate males linger at the edges, waiting for an opportunity to challenge leadership. These contests can be brutal, resulting in deep wounds or death. Victory does not guarantee long-term control. Maintaining dominance requires constant vigilance. Aging males lose territory. Younger rivals rise. The cycle repeats. Despite their aggressive reputation, hippos are not indiscriminate killers. Most attacks occur when individuals feel cornered, surprised, or threatened, especially when calves are present. Their violence is defensive, not predatory. But defense at this scale is devastating. For the Savannah hippos represent a force that does not fit neatly into predator or prey categories. They shape ecosystems through movement, consumption, and control, rather than hunting success. They create order by disruption. As the night deepens, hippos retreat once more to the water. Their paths fade into darkness, but their influence remains etched into the land and the river alike. Around them, predators adjust. Herbivores wait. The system recalibrates. On the Savannah, survival is not determined by who kills the most, but by who controls the space where life depends. And few animals command that space more absolutely than the hippopotamus. Cleaners of the Savannah, repels vultures. High above the Savannah, far beyond the reach of claws and teeth, another struggle unfolds, silent, patient, and essential. Wings stretch wide against the burning sky as dark shapes circle on rising columns of warm air. From this height, the Savannah is not a battlefield of individuals, but a living system, one that leaves behind what others cannot use. This is where repels vultures belong. They do not hunt. They do not chase. They wait. As members of the Old World vulture group, repels vultures are specialists of aftermath. Their role begins only after the conflict has ended, when bodies lie still and danger has passed. Yet, without them, the balance of the Savannah would collapse. Their bodies reflect this singular purpose. A featherless neck allows them to reach deep into carcasses without contaminating their plumage. A powerful hooked beak tears through tough skin and muscle with precision. Their wingspan, extending more than 2.5 meters, allows them to glide for hours with almost no effort, scanning vast distances in search of opportunity. Opportunity in this world is death. From thousands of meters above the ground, a vulture's vision can detect a carcass long before any scent reaches the air. A fallen animal does not remain unnoticed for long. One descending vulture signals many others. Within minutes, the sky begins to fill. What follows is not chaos but efficiency. Ruppel's vultures feed quickly, stripping flesh from bone with remarkable speed. A large carcass can be reduced to little more than skeleton in under an hour. In doing so, they eliminate a breeding ground for bacteria and disease. This function is critical. Decaying bodies can harbor pathogens capable of spreading rapidly through animal populations. Anthrax, botulism, and other lethal bacteria thrive in carcasses left untouched. By consuming this material, vultures act as a biological barrier, stopping outbreaks before they begin. Their digestive systems make this possible. Stomach acids in Ruppel's vultures are among the most acidic found in nature, capable of neutralizing organisms that would kill most scavengers. Toxins, bacteria, even diseases that threaten mammals are rendered harmless as they pass through the vulture system. In this way, vultures do not simply clean the savanna, they protect it. Yet their work is often misunderstood. To many, vultures appear grim, ominous, even sinister. They arrive at scenes of death and gather in numbers, reinforcing an image tied to decay. But this perception overlooks their role as preventers of disaster. Without vultures, carcasses would linger. Without vultures, disease would spread. Without vultures, the cycle would break. Ruppel's vultures are also masters of altitude. They hold the record for the highest confirmed flight of any bird, reaching heights above 11,000 meters. At these elevations, oxygen is scarce. Temperatures are extreme, and survival requires extraordinary adaptation. Specialized hemoglobin allows their blood to absorb oxygen efficiently, even in thin air. This ability expands their reach. They can patrol enormous territories, following migration routes and seasonal patterns, along river corridors and migration paths. Especially during large crossings, their presence becomes constant, a quiet response team for nature's most dangerous moments. Despite their importance, vultures face severe threats. Poisoning, habitat loss, and competition for food have caused alarming population declines across Africa. In some regions, vulture numbers have dropped by more than half in just a few decades. The consequences of this decline are already visible: increased disease risk and ecological instability. Conservation efforts are now underway to protect nesting sites, reduce poisoning, and raise awareness of their role. But recovery is slow. Vultures reproduce at a measured pace. They invest heavily in each offspring. Every loss matters. As the sun lowers and shadows stretch across the plains, vultures return to their roosts, folding massive wings after a day spent in silent service. They leave behind a savanna cleared of death, ready to sustain life once more. Their work ends where others begin. They are not predators. They are not scavengers in the common sense. They are guardians of balance. And as night settles over the plains, their absence is felt more than their presence ever was. Because on the savanna, survival does not end with the kill. It continues with those who ensure that nothing is wasted. As darkness settles over the African savanna, the noise fades. The hunts have ended. The rivers grow quiet. The air cools. What remains is not silence, but order. Every struggle we have witnessed is part of a system far older than memory. A system that does not judge by strength alone, nor reward cruelty or mercy. Here, survival is measured in adaptation, restraint, and timing. Lions dominate through presence, shaping behavior without constant conflict. Hyenas endure through structure, turning coordination into advantage. Cheetahs gamble everything on seconds of perfection. Wild dogs succeed through cooperation and relentless persistence. Crocodiles wait, allowing time itself to become a weapon. Hippos reshape landscapes through control rather than pursuit. And vultures ensure that nothing, not even death, goes to waste. Each strategy is different. Each carries risk. Each has limits. Together they form a balance that holds the savanna together. This balance is not gentle. It is not kind. But it is precise. When one force grows too strong, another responds. When a population rises, pressure follows. When food becomes scarce, movement changes. Every action creates reaction. Every victory leaves a trace. Nature does not aim for peace. It aims for continuity. And in this continuity, no species exists in isolation. Predators depend on prey. Prey depend on vegetation. Vegetation depends on water, and water depends on the movements of animals, both great and small. Remove one element, and the system begins to unravel. This is why the disappearance of even a single species can echo far beyond its absence. The savanna remembers these changes. Human presence now adds a new variable one without precedent. Roads cut across migration routes. Water sources shrink. Poisons intended for one animal claim many. The ancient balance faces pressures it was never designed to withstand. Yet understanding offers a path forward. To observe these animals is not simply to witness violence or spectacle. It is to recognize a network of roles refined over millions of years. Protecting the savanna means preserving that network, not just its most iconic figures, but every participant within it. Because survival here has never belonged to one species alone. It belongs to the system. As night deepens, life continues beyond sight. Somewhere a pride rests. A clan regroups. A vulture waits for dawn. The cycle resets, unchanged by our observation, yet profoundly affected by our choices. The African savanna does not ask to be admired. It asks to be understood. And perhaps the greatest lesson it offers is this: in a world governed by survival, balance is the most powerful force of all. Which strategy do you think offers the greatest chance of survival on the savanna? Raw strength, endurance, speed, or cooperation? Let us know in the comments. If this journey through the African savanna gave you a deeper understanding of how nature truly works, consider subscribing and joining us for future explorations into the world where survival is shaped by balance, not brutality.